our mandate is to investigate and establish the truth regarding what happened at Montagne Posée prison on 5 and 6 December. And we do this investigation in public interest because there's in other words, there's an interest in the public to first and foremost understand what happened, but also understand how to fix the problem so that that kind of a problem may never happen again in this country. My name is Justice Mawedzenge. I'm the chairperson of the commission. Let me give the floor to fellow commissioners to introduce themselves.
I am Melchior Vidot. Victor.
Yes, thank you, commissioners. On the extreme left is the secretary for the commission, Ms. Chelsea Albest, whom I'm going to ask to administer the oath, and then we will continue from there. Over to you.
I'm a Christian.
If you can lift up your right hand and repeat after me, please.
I swear
by Almighty God,
that
the evidence
I shall give
to this commission
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Secretary, and thank you, Colonel Olada. So maybe I need to just flag some rules, but also put some context to what we are doing here, so that we sort of understand the significance of what we are doing here. So the first rule that we need to observe, and particularly you, because you are the witness today, is to share the truth, nothing but the truth. It is a criminal offense to withhold the truth from the commission or to deliberately give false information to the commission. And on that point, it is important for the commission to clarify that there is no doubt that there is a problem, right? And there are other questions that need to be answered through the investigation. But even when the president established the commission of inquiry, the government was acknowledging that there is a problem that needs to be inquired into, that needs to be examined. And unless witnesses choose to tell the truth openly and in a way that the public understands, then it's going to be very difficult for this country to sort out particularly the systemic challenges that it faces today with respect to, the different questions that we are investigating. So I would like to encourage you to be free to express yourself without fear or favor in service of your nation. Because at the end of the day, this is your country, and the country looks up to you as a witness to take them into confidence. In other words, to help them understand what needs to be fixed. So I think with that type of context, it helps you to sort of settle down and understand the seriousness of what we are dealing with, but also the importance of the bigger picture. The bigger picture is for the nation to understand, what is the nature of the problem, and what can be done to resolve the problem. Otherwise, this process could have been done behind the scenes, right? but the reason why it is being done publicly is to, instigate or create a process where the nation can come to terms with what happened. The families can also heal. The families affected can also heal. But also people who were not directly affected by this, but who are somehow concerned about this, concerned about, abuse of power, concerned about their safety and security. They can also they can also be able to see that the government, the different actors in the state are working towards resolving this once and for all. So that's really why we are here. Now, having said that, the other rule that we need to remember is to answer all the questions that are asked by the commissioners. Just answer the questions as they are asked. Then conduct yourself with dignity, including when you are referring to other people in your testimony. We will also respect you and honor you, and if you feel at any point that we are no longer living to that obligation, please remind us and we will correct. Right. In the room, I encourage everyone to refrain from interrupting proceedings, including by switching off your phone or put it on silent completely. That includes vibration. So that vibration produces a sound which can interrupt the witness, but can also interrupt our ability to hear clearly what the witness is saying. Please avoid movements in and outside of the room. So those are the rules really. And the way we are going to ask questions is we will take turns to ask questions. The general approach is that for today is that I will ask you some questions. My fellow commissioners will also then take it from there, or we can change depending on how, the direction that the hearing is taking, right? So Colonel Olada, maybe the best place to start from is for you to make us understand your duties. Colonel is your rank,
yes,
right? And what are your duties and responsibilities in your position?
Well, in the position I am now, I'm the Chief of Staff. Okay. But that was not the case when the incident happened.
Okay.
I had another role. As the Chief of Staff now, I am that person responsible for the administration of the force. I have staff officers under me. So they are the technicians that assist me in getting all the jobs that has to be done. And in that role, I also advise the CDF and get tasks from him to accomplish.
Okay. So we may also address you as Chief of Staff.
Like you.
Okay. No, it's not just about titles. The reason why I say this is because once you tell us that you are, or once you tell the nation that you are the Chief of Staff, there is an expectation. First, there is excitement that we are talking to the right person who knows certain information that the public or even ourselves may not be aware of, but also someone who has the interest and the patriotism to sort out certain problems. Right? So that's why I'm saying
yes.
We may address you as Chief of Staff then.
Okay.
So from what you just described, would I be correct to say you are probably you are number 3
yes.
in the military hierarchy?
Yes.
Okay. So the first would be the Commander-in-Chief.
If adding the Commander-in-Chief, I'll be number 4.
Will be number 4. So there is the Commander-in-Chief, the CDF,
the Deputy CDF,
the Deputy CDF,
and myself,
and then the Chief of Staff. Okay. And you also said a key part of your responsibility is administration.
Administration of the force.
Okay. So administration, what would administration include?
Administration includes logistics, salaries of people in the army, their clothes, uniforms. You have to make sure that they have payments of different requests that we make, and everything that has to do with administrating the force. Yes, trainings, communications, and everything.
Does this also include? So, do you make an input when the military is developing policies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Being the Chief of Staff, I am also a member of the Defense Forces Council.
Defense Forces Council. That's good. Your testimony is obviously coming just after the CDF testimony. So there are some things that the CDF has already clarified, like how the Defense Council works. But we may also just ask you some questions to better understand certain functions.
Yes.
So when it comes to policy making,
Yes.
Policy making in the military, who initiates it? Who initiates policy development in the military?
It can be the Chief of the Defense Forces.
Okay.
That direct the Chief of Staff that some policy has to be made.
Okay.
Then the Chief of Staff will appoint different officers that has the capacity to help develop the policy. Then the policy will be presented to the Chief of Staff, and the Chief of Staff will go through it, maybe correct it or add things to it. Then the Chief of Staff will present it to the Chief of Defense Forces. Then the Chief of Defense Forces will approve it, if it's okay to approve, or if we have to work again on it, he will send it back and say, work a little bit more.
So the final authority on policy, the one who approves the policy, is the CDF. What role does the Commander-in-Chief play?
The Commander-in-Chief commands the force. He's the Commander-in-Chief. But the one who commands the force is the CDF.
But
so he's the commander, but the CDF, being a soldier, he's the one that commands the force. He knows
so the CDF
who directs orders to different parts of the force.
But I'm just I'm just looking at, let's say, a policy on discipline.
Yes.
Or a policy on training.
Yes.
At what point does the Commander-in-Chief gets involved?
The Commander-in-Chief are informed of everything that happened in the SDF through the Chief of the Defense Forces. So everything the Chief of Defense Forces will approve, maybe before he approves that, we'll have to brief it to the Commander-in-Chief, then get his approval, then that's when he signed and make it.
So would I be correct to say, when it comes to policy making in the SDF,
yes,
there is no policy that can be approved, that can be implemented without the input and the approval of the Commander-in-Chief?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Then the CDF does the formal technical approval.
Yes.
But the final authority is the Commander-in-Chief.
Is with the Commander-in-Chief.
Okay. No, thank you for clarifying that you wanted to.
Does the Commander-in-Chief sometimes make proposals as to policy?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because like when there's the Defense Forces Council, the Commander-in-Chief may comes with some proposal that some policies should be made, and we go and work on it.
And thank you for asking that question, because that helps me to ask this next question. So we want to understand how, the dynamics. because earlier on you said before the CDF, the commander, the Chief of Defense Forces approves a policy, they have to get a go-ahead from the President, the Commander-in-Chief. Is it possible for the Commander-in-Chief, the Chief of Staff, to critique and maybe say a policy proposal from the Commander-in-Chief is not a good idea? Is there space for that?
I think they must.
Okay.
They must say where it's wrong, where it's not okay. Because finally we are the military officers. We better know what's best for the force.
Okay. Now let's talk about. Do you want to come in?
Yeah. But does it happen that sometimes you might think that the policy is not correct to be implemented, but the Commander-in-Chief thinks otherwise?
Yes.
And in that situation, would you follow the proposal made by the Commander-in-Chief?
You have to follow what the Commander-in-Chief says.
Pardon?
You have to follow what the Commander-in-Chief says.
Even when you feel that is not correct?
Yes, he's the final say. He has the final say.
So I think what the point we wanted to establish is who is the final authority.
Yeah.
So I think you had given an answer, and then we wanted to test that answer.
Yes.
And I think it's very clear that the final authority on policy,
yes, on mainly everything,
on everything, is the Commander-in-Chief.
Yes.
Right. So, of course, there is delegation and everything. Okay. So, you said you are also in charge of training.
Yes, trainings are one of the aspects that I looked about.
Okay.
Through a staff officer that
Yes.
is in charge of training.
So what? Of course, you don't have to. There are certain things that we don't expect you to reveal. We understand.
Yes.
Publicly, but there are certain things that the public wants to know. So, in terms of training, what informs your training? Like when you are when you are making a decision that we would like to train our soldiers, what informs,
Well, basically, this is one activity that soldiers do on a daily basis.
Yeah.
It forms part of what we do as soldiers. Soldiers must train, and there's a whole program of training from the beginning of the year to the end of the year.
Yeah, but
I'm
I'm interested in knowing how do you decide that this is the kind of training that we need to give to our troops?
It is decided on many levels. For example, on unit level, the unit commanders they make their program. They know in which area the units are weaker, or it is a necessity to train their people on that.
So there's some kind of a needs assessment.
Yes, at the level of headquarters, maybe we looked more into training leaderships, and maybe some other aspects that we think the force will benefit out of it.
So there's some kind of a needs assessment. You assess the needs.
Yes, it's a needs, and it's what any military does on a regular basis. Training is one part of the activities that a soldier does. It must be there.
And you obviously take into account what the Constitution says.
Yes.
Okay. So I will have to ask you this question because you said you are the Chief of Staff. So the Constitution says you, as the SDF, have a responsibility to ensure or promote the ability of the Republic of Seychelles to fulfill its international obligations. And what you are aware of that, right? You are aware of that responsibility. Okay. If you are aware of it, how do you incorporate that into your training? If at all you incorporate it.
Well, there are different aspects of that, like international obligation will be the convention we have signed, and if there's in the training program, there are all some of the aspects that we will teach the soldiers what are their different role to play in doing that obligation, international obligation.
But do human rights play a role in that? I
Yes.
understand the
Yes.
conventions, but in
Yes.
what way do they play a role in that?
Soldiers are taught about human rights, but soldiers are trained on different levels. For example, if you are training a recruit, maybe the amount of classes you will do on human rights will be a little bit less.
Okay.
But when you are training leaders, junior leaders, and officers, then they get a little bit more exposure. We sometimes get training from abroad, and even like with our legal system here in Seychelles, they are invited to give lectures on human rights.
So just help us to understand a bit more about, because I actually remember that we have heard another testimony that says something similar, that human rights, focus on human rights is more on the middle level, senior level military personnel. The junior level there's less focus. Why is it like that?
Mainly, well, I would say mainly because when you are training young soldiers, maybe you don't know a lot about their academic background. You might be telling them things that they don't really understand. But then we train the leaders, because when they go somewhere, they must have leaders with them. So the leaders are supposed to guide them, to verbally tell them when they are wrong. So that's why soldiers are not deployed alone. They are normally deployed with somebody in charge. So that somebody in charge must know about these things.
We'll come back to that particular point a bit later. But I just want to understand more the rationale that you just explained. So what if I hear you well, these are not your personal views, these are the institutional views. So I hope you feel more comfortable to critique and tease them, because they are not a reflection of you as a person. But remember, we are here to also collaborate and see how best some things can be improved, some things can be fixed, right? So education, you said one of the reasons why you pay less attention on human rights when training the lower level troops is because sometimes their education is not that advanced. That would create an impression that human rights are complex.
They are not complex. It is introduced to them, and it is human rights are there for anyone.
Yes.
To go research and know what are the other human rights. But it is not let's say focus more in that formal training, recruit training. That's what I'm trying to say.
But still, I'm thinking that if human rights are for everyone, including those who cannot read and write, they still have to know their rights.
Yes.
And they still have to know the rights of others.
Yes.
Then maybe it is not a good idea to say this soldier may have less education, and maybe let's not focus more on human rights, because they still can understand, depending on how those human rights obligations are taught. So there's an issue there about the methods of teaching them.
But this doesn't mean that they are not spoke about.
But
maybe not in a detailed and lengthy way.
Probably there's need to focus a lot on them. Why? Because now maybe I want to hear your view on this next related point, which is that who engages in combat with or in contact with citizens?
The soldiers.
The lower level troops or the managers?
The lower level.
It's the lower level, right? So if they are the ones that engage more in combat, so maybe they are the ones who need more education on
Yes.
Seychelles' human rights obligations.
Yes.
Is that correct?
It's correct.
Yeah. So maybe that might, would you agree that might mean we need to rethink, our emphasis on,
Yes,
on
definitely.
human
yes.
rights for the lower troops?
Definitely, yes.
Now, just for your own, I want to understand your own personal understanding. Do you think human rights are important? I know you say they are for everyone, but do you think it is important for the Republic to honor its human rights obligations?
Yes.
Why?
Because it concerns me also. If I am not concerned with people being treated well, then I'm telling it to myself.
What about, do you think there's any relationship between the need to honor the human rights obligations and the need and the duty to promote peace and security in the Republic?
Rephrase the question.
Okay. What do you understand by, you have a duty to promote peace, promote and maintain peace and security in the
yes,
Republic.
yes.
Does that have anything to do with human rights? Or it's different?
It goes in line with each other. While you
Okay.
promote peace and security, you also
In what
promoting
way?
peace and security is ensuring that people are not being abused. People are safe. People can sleep safely in their house.
Yeah.
So it goes in line.
Okay. So when we are talking about peace and security, we are talking about the freedom of a human being in Seychelles
Yeah.
to move around,
Yeah.
without being harassed,
Yes.
to work hard and acquire property lawfully and continue to have their property.
Yes.
The freedom, the right to be able to go to work and earn income so that they can have food. So peace and security is really about creating an environment where human beings can enjoy all their rights that are in the Bill of Rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we are together there, then I think we can agree that it's not possible to achieve or maintain peace and security in the Republic without making sure that our troops have a deep understanding of human rights.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm not in any way saying they should only be taught about human rights. They should still be taught about how to fire guns and all the other things.
Yeah.
Okay, so having established that, what are your views with respect to, is it important for you as the military, is it important for Seychelles to have a good reputation within the regional and international community?
Yes.
Why? Why does that matter?
It matters because people will work with you when you're doing things right, and people will ignore you when you are a state that is lawless. You don't know what you're doing.
Economy is part of your security considerations as
Yes,
the military, right? In what way?
Economy has to be. A country must have a strong economy, and for the economy to be strong, like you've said, peace and security is part of that. If there's no peace, there's no security, there's no human rights. It cannot. People will not invest in your country.
Yeah.
Tourists will not come, and
Tourists will not come.
yeah,
So it is important
Yeah.
that Seychelles appears to be a country that respects rights and there's peace, stability, and all these things.
Yes.
Okay, that is very helpful. That is very helpful for me to hear from you. So let's go back to your when were you appointed CDF?
Chief
I
of
mean,
Staff,
sorry,
that was,
Chief of Staff.
I think 31st December 24.
31st December 2024.
Mm-hmm.
So you have been in this position for
1.5 years now.
And of course the incident we are investigating, and I'm not yet asking you questions about that. I would like Commissioner Vidot to help us go into that later. The incident we are investigating happened before you were
Yes.
Chief of Staff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I will still ask you this question. When you were appointed Chief of Staff, and I'm asking you this question because, just to put context, because there are certain issues that we are tracking as a commission that are connected to 5 and 6 December.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So when you were appointed as Chief of Staff, were your responsibility as someone in charge of administration?
Yes, I was the land force commander, and administration was one part of mine.
Were you allowed to do your job?
Yes.
Were there instances where you felt that you were being blocked or impeded from executing your duties?
Not really.
Okay. It was smooth sailing.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
Yeah.
This framework on policy making that you described to me, was it working in practice? Is that how it was working in practice?
That's how it works. But like I've said earlier, it doesn't end with either me or the other officers around me.
Wow.
We can propose things. Everybody has a proposal, but then it is not approved by us. So I cannot say that I was not. My point was not being taken, because then somebody else has another point.
There's another point.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the way the military is organized, because I'm not going to beat about the bush. We have received evidence that says there was once a unit comprising of troops and other security personnel, but comprised of troops,
Yes.
which was practically detached from headquarters,
Yes.
military headquarters.
Yes.
It was reporting to, the word used is it was reporting to State House,
Yes.
meaning it was reporting to the Commander-in-Chief without going through the Chief of Staff, without going through the Chief of Defense Forces, who are the administrators.
Yes.
Is that true?
Yes.
And were you okay with that as the Chief of...
No, I was not.
Okay. Why were you not okay with that?
Because I can let's explain a little bit about that.
Sure.
What happened was a group of people was handpicked, and at that time I was the commanding officer of the Special Forces. So they were my best soldiers, the instructors, and some of them even go abroad to train people with UNODC. They are qualified instructors. So they were all handpicked and leave a void in the unit, and they were sent to State House to form part of our team. That,
Who handpicked them?
they were handpicked by some of the NCOs that was at the Presidential Security Unit.
Sorry. I know you used a technical
Yes,
abbreviation.
non-commissioned officers.
None?
Non-commissioned officers.
Okay.
Because at that time, the
Who are
unit...
these? Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want us to understand who are these non-commissioned officers.
Yeah, I won't know, but I know it was the NCOs that was there because it was them that knew about those soldiers. Because at that time, there was a captain that was in charge of the unit, Captain Anil Bristol. So he was the one that the unit was going to be put under him, but he knew nothing about who was who. So the NCOs must have helped him to understand that this one can do the job well, this one can do the job well. So they were handpicked and they were sent to State House for this, we call them Special Operation Team. And they were doing mainly anti-narcotics operation, which according to me, it was not what I want soldiers to do. Because after sometimes they lose it.
So you say they were handpicked.
Yes.
Let's work a bit more on that. And he asked you who, then you said by non-commissioned officers.
Yeah.
But let's go back to, because this is a policy issue,
Yes.
really. Or if it's not policy, it's practice.
Yes,
But it's major. When soldiers are handpicked from the military and they are moved to another unit, which is practically outside of the unit, the CDF should be involved, isn't it? The Chief of Defense Forces.
Yes, you will be informed that these soldiers...
involved.
Involved?
Yeah.
Definitely, yes.
Okay. The Commander-in-Chief should be
because
involved.
they were still under the structure of the SDF. They were attached, these soldiers were attached to the Presidential Security Unit, so still under the structure of the SDF.
No,
but
sorry, you are introducing several issues, so we need to move slowly so that we understand each other. I'm still at the point of handpicking.
Yes.
Right? But you have said also they are still under the structure.
Yes.
We need to come back to those points because they are contentious issues
I will explain
that you are raising. The point I want you to establish at this point is, or to confirm for us, is there is no way a soldier can be appointed into a position or moved like that without at least 3 critical officers knowing,
Yes.
in terms of the policy, in terms of the framework that you laid out. You would have to be involved, but you also said, well, you would have to be involved. The Chief of Defense Forces would have to be involved. The Commander-in-Chief would have to be involved.
Yes.
So what I want to understand when you say they were handpicked, where you, because you are the one before us, the CDF has come and given us his own views, but before we tell you what he gave us, we want you to tell us were you involved in the decision to establish this separate military unit?
I was not.
You were not?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you involved in handpicking?
No.
No, you were not. Why? Because you were appointed later.
Yes.
So when you were... okay. Now, when you were appointed, you said you were not happy.
Yes.
Right? Were you not happy when you were appointed? Sorry, were you not happy about this unit when you were appointed or before?
Before and after.
Before.
Before and after.
Right. To the best of your knowledge, did the president approve the establishment of this unit?
Yes, I believe he was the person that said that this unit has to be created.
Because he's the commander-in-chief?
Yes.
Right, okay. Now, we've dealt with the handpicking. Then you said they were still under the structure of the SDF. Why do you say that?
I say they are still under the structure of the SDF because the Presidential Security Unit, it's a unit under the structure of the SDF.
Because the president?
But since the officer in charge of the Presidential Security Unit, he takes orders directly from the Commander-in-Chief because he's in the same office. So the Special Operation Team was placed under him, the officers in charge of the Presidential Security Unit. But they are still under the structure of the SDF. The Presidential Security Unit falls under the like an attachment under the Special Forces unit. But they are separate because they do the job of protecting the Commander-in-Chief.
Let me get it right. So they were part of the Presidential Security Unit.
Yes.
But earlier on, didn't you say that they were dealing with countering narcotics?
Yes.
What does countering narcotics have to do with the president's security?
Nothing.
So, yeah. If there is none, was that a good arrangement to have the security of the president being involved in anti-narcotics?
That's the way the Commander-in-Chief wanted it to be.
Okay. Let's pack that question. We need to come back to that question. I still need to ask you why you insist that this military unit was still part of the SDF structure. Because now, let me ask you this question. Did this military unit report to you?
No.
Did it report to the Chief of Defense Forces?
No, maybe occasionally,
Right.
because, yeah.
Right. And I got your point, that to the extent that it was protecting the Commander-in-Chief
Yeah.
at that time, they probably didn't need to report to you, right? I still think it's questionable because practice is that even the soldiers who protect the Commander-in-Chief still need to be trained,
Yes.
still need to know the policies.
Yes.
So how is that done if they don't report to the Chief of Defense Forces, who is in charge of the administration of soldiers?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So on that point, I think there's still some questions, but we let it go. Let's come to the fact that this unit was also doing other work
Yes.
other than protecting the president
Yes.
at the time. So if you have a military unit that is doing other military work other than protecting the president, what would be the justification for that unit not reporting to the CDF and to the Chief of Staff?
I don't know if it was based on. This is what I would think, not necessarily what it was.
Yes, we are. Now we are asking you. We have since moved from the institution. We want
But because the nature of doing counter narcotics is done in a that sort of secrecy manner, so that you're going to do a raid.
When you say secrecy,
Yes,
you
yes.
mean the
Let's say
the
like
chief of the CDF and the chief of staff
yes.
should be prevented from knowing what their troops are
No, they should know.
investigating.
They should know.
So what do you mean when you say?
No, I'm
Because
thinking.
my question was,
okay.
what would be the justification of having troops
Yes.
doing military work, but they are not reporting to the Chief of Defense Forces, right? And in explaining that, you are saying maybe they are doing the work of combating narcotics.
No, because you're
requires
saying
secrecy. How is that?
because you're
explained?
saying justification. Because in my opinion, there's no justification.
So okay. So let me clarify something.
Yeah.
We want your opinion,
Yes.
right? We're not saying speak on behalf of the Commander-in-Chief.
Yes.
No. We want you,
Yeah.
as the Chief of Staff, to tell us whether you think this makes sense or not.
No, it did not make sense. That's what I was saying earlier. That's why I was against that.
It didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense.
Right. So, would you still say this military unit, which did not report to you, did not report to the Chief of Defense Forces, was still part of the SDF structures?
Yes, because they were on the payroll of the SDF and they were placed in a unit that is on the structure of the SDF.
What is it something that, okay, who are the structures that when we're saying SDF structures?
When I say structure,
What are some of the structures we're talking?
the structures of the SDF is it has the Commander-in-Chief, the Chief of Defense Forces, the Chief of Staff.
No.
And-
Good.
and-
let's just, because we don't want to digress.
Yeah. And
Just those three structures.
Yeah, and
right?
below the units like I believe the CDF explained yesterday, there are three main branches. There's the land forces, the Coast Guard, and the Air Force. And the presidential security unit are under the land forces structure. That's why I said the structure.
But Chief of Staff, there is something called command element
Yes,
in the military.
yes.
Who makes up the command element?
The commander are the unit commanders, and the
Yeah, but you have a senior command element.
Yes.
That is the Chief of Defense Forces.
yes,
That is the person responsible for the day-to-day
Yes.
military operations.
yes,
If you have a unit that does not report to the person in charge of the day-to-day operations, or that does not report to a structure, this structure, responsible for the day-to-day operations of the military, can you actually say that unit is part of the SDF structures?
being in the structure and reporting to the people in the structure is two different things. You can be under the structure, but they were not reporting to the structure.
Okay. Is it also possible that one can earn a salary
Yes,
from the SDF without reporting to the CDF? Is it possible?
yeah, they will not report directly, but indirectly somebody will report to the CDF.
Okay, who in this case?
Like we have some soldiers that are attached to the police. They work at the airport, dog units, so they will not respond directly to the CDF, but there is an officer that will.
No, let's talk about this unit that we're talking about. I
Yeah.
think it's popularly known as the IBO.
Yes,
In what way was it indirectly reporting to the CDF?
no, they were not.
Like,
They were not.
that's what we're talking
They
about.
were
They were not.
No.
So I think let's not beat about the bush. They were not reporting to the CDF.
Yes.
They were not reporting to you as the Chief of
No.
Staff, right? But they were not only looking after the president. They were also doing other
Yes,
military work,
yes.
right? So I don't think we can sustain the argument that they were part of the SDF structure. Because the only way they can be part of this SDF structure in practice is if they are accountable to the Chief of Defense Forces.
Well, it's a tricky way the way you're telling me, but because the presidential security unit is a structure under the SDF.
But we have since agreed with you that they were not only doing the work of protecting the president,
Yes, they were doing something else, but-
which let's call it by its name. What was it?
and counter-narcotics
Yeah,
operations.
that's what they were doing. And the law says the military can be deployed to enforce civilian law. That's what
Yes.
that's what the law says. So they were doing other military work.
Yes,
They were not just there to look after the president. So you have a part of the military
yes,
that is doing military work,
yes,
but is not accountable to the men and women that are responsible for the day-to-day management of the military.
in that aspect, in the operation they were doing counter-narcotics, they did not report to the CDF, but the administration, everything was done through the SDF headquarters. How they get paid, if they have to get uniform, if they have to get weapons, all of this was done through the administration
Is
of
it
SDF.
possible that you could decide to not give them weapons?
No, you can't.
Why would you not?
Because, like
withhold
I've said, this was created by the commander-in-chief himself.
So, the reality then is that they were using resources of the military, but they are not accountable to the CDF.
Yes.
And you say that Mr. Anil Bristol was head of that
He was the officers in charge of the
in charge,
presidential security
and
unit.
he will not report to the commander-in-chief.
He will report to the commander-in-chief
In what way?
because he was the, like I've said, the officers in charge of the presidential security unit. And normally, when you are the OIC of the presidential security unit, you report directly to the president. You get instruction from him, because you arrange security wherever he's going. But then the other group which is attached to the Presidential Security Unit under Captain Bristol. He will also report to the president if they are the one doing the counter-narcotic operation.
Okay.
They will be the one organizing all these operations.
Let's say that, just for argument's sake, that
No, it's okay.
Captain Bristol commits an offense.
Yes.
Will the CDF take action against Captain Bristol?
If
Will
he,
be in a position to take action against him?
I think on a personal level, he might not.
Hmm?
He might not.
He might not.
Because it will be in conflict with the Commander-in-Chief.
Yeah. So I think we can agree to disagree. Right? But we may not disagree on these facts. There was a separate military unit which did not report to the Commander-in-Chief, to the Chief of Defense Forces, was getting resources from the military, including weapons. But the CDF, or the Chief of Staff, was not in any position to demand accountability from this unit, including disciplining them. These are facts, right, that we agree.
Yeah.
So maybe we may disagree on the semantics of whether they are part of the structure of the SDF or not, but those four things we agree. Okay. Now, so let's work with what you have given us, that they reported directly to the president. So
Yes.
So do you confirm that this group, can we just call them Igbo? I know that's not their official name, but but we don't
the
know
official
its
name
name.
was Special Operation Unit, but we can.
Okay.
When you say Ibu, I know what
Yeah,
you're talking
that the Igbo. So do you confirm that the Igbo's operations were directly commanded by the Commander-in-Chief?
Yes.
Okay. So the Commander-in-Chief is the final authority
Yes.
and the final accounting officer on everything that the Igbo did.
Yes.
Okay. Are you aware of any transgressions or any complaints that were raised concerning the operations of this special unit that we call Igbo?
Yes, I've heard a lot.
What are some of them that you have heard?
Like there was an operation where I think some kids were harassed.
Kids.
Yes.
When you say kids,
So,
how
some young
old?
some young men
How old?
in their teens. They were
Teenagers.
Yes,
What happened?
they were harassed because they were being arrested for like drug trafficking or something like this. Some was being put feet on them. It
Feet?
was there on the social media.
No, but not everyone is on social media, so
Yeah,
Okay.
but there was an incident where someone was I think it was 2 or 3 boys were arrested, and there was a lot of cry out in Seychelles that
when did this happen?
I don't have the exact date.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah.
But that sounds like allegations of torture.
Yes, there was another incident I think at Mofleri where they were doing some operation there, and I think someone threw a rubber grenade and hurt some kids.
Rubber grenade.
Yeah, hurt some kids.
At kids.
And
How
so
old?
yeah, that would be a young boy.
Let's just try to estimate their age.
And he's 8 or 9.
8 years,
Or 9, yeah.
9 years.
He was in the surrounding and
He was in
and
surrounding area.
got affected by that. These are few of some incidents that was there on social media for everybody to see, or on the news, and which accused the Ibu team of doing this kind of.
If proven, if those things are proven, that amounts to serious violations of rights of children, serious allegations of torture, right?
Well, I can't say that because
But why would you not say that? The Constitution defines what torture is.
yes, because I'm telling you the incident that happens, but I would definitely be careful of accusing somebody of.
No, you are not accusing anyone.
doing
I
something.
said, okay, let's go back to my question. My question was, if approved,
Yes.
I mean, if proven,
Yeah.
if proven, what you are telling me would amount to torture and serious violations of children's rights. If proven, is that
If proven, yes.
yeah, correct?
It will go in that line, yes.
And now let's go back to, there's a reason why I asked you about the constitutional obligation of the defense forces to uphold
Yes.
Seychelles' international obligations. Do you agree that Seychelles has an obligation under domestic law but also under international law to refrain and to protect individuals from torture,
Yes.
to protect the rights of children?
Yes.
So when these things happened, or when you heard that these things happened, what did you, as the military, do? What did the military, now I'm talking of the SDF, what did they do?
I think the incident was questioned by the Chief of Defense Forces. He's the one that normally speaks to the Commander-in-Chief and the group at he normally goes to State House for meetings. I go to State House only on occasion of Defense Forces Council.
So you didn't question this?
Yes, because it was justified that the boy or whoever was there was in the wrong place.
How old
Was
was that
justify
boy?
he was in the wrong place?
Yeah, because where they were doing the operation, they were, I think, I don't know if arresting someone, but then there was a lot of people coming towards them. So it was justified as if the boy was not supposed to be there.
I don't understand this, saying that it was justified for the boy not to...
Because there was a commotion, and the boy
Explain
was
that to
not
me.
where at his house. He came from certain distance and coming to see what is happening.
So what was that the fault of the boy? That he was harmed?
You don't normally approach a place where...
No, I'm asking you, was that the fault of the young boy who was harmed, that he got a grenade
By
thrown
the
at
way,
him?
let's refer to this one as a child, because
Yeah.
remember, I was
you
asking
said
you
9,
about
yeah.
ages.
So that was his fault? He came there and got injured?
No, that's the way it was justified. It was not his fault.
But that's
it
the
was
way
the fault
you
of
are...
the person who threw the grenade.
1 minute, that's the way you are justifying it.
Yeah. No, I said it was justified as if the boy was in the wrong place.
But we're not asking you to tell us what other people said.
Yeah.
We are asking you,
What I
as
say.
Chief of Staff.
No, it was not the fault of the boy, because it will definitely be on the fault of the person who threw the grenade.
And any actions taken against those who threw the grenade?
I don't remember there was an action taken.
Yeah, but let me take that again. Did you as the SDF, that's where I am at.
Yeah.
You as the SDF, did you take any action against your troops
No, it was
who
not. No action
were
was taken.
who were accused of having committed torture, which and violated the rights of children, which are serious crimes under international law? Did you take any action?
We didn't take action, but the incident that I was talking about earlier, where there was a boy that was.
I think the story is, we can pack it then.
Yeah, it just-
you didn't take any action.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think you can say yes or no.
Yes, but there was an
Because you
action
were not
taken.
in command of this troop,
Yes,
of
but
this
there was
unit.
action taken.
Yeah, so, and yet earlier on, you persisted that this military unit was under the SDF structures. You have a military unit that you can't command. You can't hold accountable. You have no power
Yes.
to investigate. Right. So, but that's okay. We may not agree on the semantics, but we are agreeing that there were allegations of serious crimes, right? And earlier on we talked about why it is important for the military to ensure that Seychelles upholds its international obligations. And one of them is respecting and protecting the rights of individuals, but more importantly, vulnerable communities, including, in this case, children.
Yeah.
Later on, we will talk about prisons later, but these are vulnerable communities.
Yeah, but this doesn't mean that there was no investigation done by the police, and there
I
was an
don't think,
investigation.
Do you know that of any investigation that was performed by the police?
Yeah, there was an investigation in the first case that I was telling you about, the 2 kids, and even the other one.
And up till today,
Yeah.
has action been taken against these perpetrators of the act?
Yeah, but there was an investigation, I know. There
No,
was
I'm
an
not
investigation.
talking about. You say there was an investigation. I'm asking whether there were actions taken against them.
No. There was no action.
Colonel Olada, do you understand that the obligation of the state is not just to investigate?
Yes,
It is also to do what?
to take action.
To take action.
Yes.
So if you come here and you say, yeah, but there was an investigation, do you think that changes anything?
No, it doesn't change anything, but when something goes wrong, it gets investigated, and that is away from what I do. It has to, there must be an action followed to that.
Then nothing was.
When
was
nothing
done.
happened,
Right. So which means there was a failure
Yes, yes.
on the obligation of the state
Yes.
to protect, in that case, to protect children.
Yes,
In that case, to protect citizens from torture.
yes.
Right. So we agree on that. But I think one of the things that I keep flagging these things for the next segment of the testimony. We agree that you were not in control of this unit.
No.
And your testimony, not ours, your testimony is that the commander-in-chief at that time was in control of this unit.
Yes.
Right. Now, let's move a bit away from this unit for now and talk about command and control.
Yes.
Earlier on, you mentioned that the way the military is organized is that you deploy your troops and then the troops are under the command of someone else. So I just want us to focus on your responsibilities around enforcing civilian law. For example, when you are deployed to help the police. So when you deploy your troops to help the police, how do you apply that mechanism, that principle which you explained to me earlier, that you have a senior officer?
No, normally when you give assistance to the police, you give them manpower, you don't give them leadership.
Okay.
Because the operational leadership goes with the police. You don't give them leadership, you give them manpower.
So can we take it that what you are saying is every time the military troops are deployed to assist the police, they work under the command of the police?
Yes.
Right. What about when they are deployed to assist the prisons?
They will be working on, because they were assisting both the police and the prison guards.
Yeah.
So they will get instruction and command from both.
Okay. So they will get instructions from both.
Yes.
But I think my very little military understanding is
But
that
it is
if
the
you have
operation control of the
if you have
police.
two commanders.
No, it is the operation control of the police.
Okay.
Because when there is a police and prison guards, the police is the high authority over everybody.
So the police commissioner would be
Yes.
the one responsible.
Yes, even over the military.
Okay. Every time.
Yes.
Okay. What about when the Igbo is deployed? Because I'm sorry, before you answer, I'm asking you this question because at some point you said, because I don't want you to say it technically.
Yeah.
Because you are the chief of staff. Yes, you are not. We have established that you were not in command of this unit, although you insist that they were part of you, right? So to the extent that you insist that they were part of you, you have to answer these questions. Because if you had said to me, no, they were not part of us, I would not ask you those questions, right? But I ask you because you insist they are part of you, right? So the Ibu was responsible for combating
Counter-narcotics.
Yes. So that involves searching
Drugs,
drug
houses,
possession
and all this.
and even arresting, right?
Yes.
People who are caught in possession of drugs or trading in drugs. So who would be commanding them when they do such operations?
The Ibu team, the way it was formed, there was a group of police officers that was attached to it. So when you have soldiers and police officers, then the police officers will take responsibility of all those things that a police should be doing on a scene.
You see, the way you are answering this question is concerning if I compare it to the way you answered the earlier question.
Yeah.
The earlier question I said, when you deploy your troops,
Yes.
to go and help the police, who are they under the command? You said they are under the
police.
command of the police.
Yes.
Then I ask you, when the Ibu is deployed, who they operate under whose command? Then you say,
but if you have,
they will be the police head.
No.
So I want to know the authority
Yes.
that commands them when they are doing this work. That
if you ask me what I think, because I was not deployed
so
with them,
so
what
maybe
I
you
think,
should say I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Because if you ask me what I think,
Yeah.
the
No. Yes.
Just tell us what you think.
the army will be the leadership.
Which army?
I mean the soldiers that are
soldiers.
there,
So
the
the
highest
soldiers.
rank
But I want to know who is the authority, the final authority there.
they will be deployed under the authority of the commander in chief.
Okay.
The team.
It's the commander in chief.
The
who is
commander
the final
it is the
authority
final
of all this.
authority to deploy these people.
So every deployment of the Ibu for an anti-narcotics operation
Yes.
would be from the president.
The president is the authority, but
No,
let's say the
answer
planning.
my question. That's my question. Just
The
I'm asking
planning.
you a question. I'm asking you whether any deployment of the Ibu team in respect of an anti-narcotics operation, instructions would be from the president.
This is what I would think because it was under him.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we'll rest there, and Commissioner Vidot can take you from.
All right. Captain, Colonel, sorry, Captain, Colonel Oladel. You are aware of the 10th Amendment to the Constitution,
Yes.
and that 10th Amendment gave the military policing powers.
Yes.
And was that 10th Amendment ever discussed within the military structure?
No.
It was never discussed, or
Not in my
okay.
knowing.
So now you know what the 10th Amendment is. Do you think it was a good thing to have this 10th Amendment?
On a personal level, I think it was supposed to be written. There were some things that should have been not applied in it.
Pardon? Say it again.
I mean, in my opinion, there are some of the things that, some of the powers that was given to the military was not supposed to be in the way it was given.
Okay.
It was not supposed to be like a broad, open thing. Maybe they should have, again, some control over how the armies are employed.
Okay.
But it was necessary for operation, for example, at sea or outer islands, where we don't have police forces there, so that we can apply them.
Okay. We go now to the incident that happened at the Montagne Posée prison on the 5th and the 6th of December. were you part of the team that went to Montagne Posée?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you, or were you given instructions that you have to proceed to Montagne Posée?
In my case, it was about 6 p.m. when I checked my phone. There was a lot of missed calls. So I called the chief of staff, and he informed me about the soldiers have been deployed there. So because I was the land forces commander at that time, so I made it my duty to go there to see whatever the soldiers had to do there. So it was my duty as the land force commander, because the soldiers falls under me, and I had to know what they are being told to do, if they know what they are going to do, if they have the necessary equipment to do whatever they are going to do.
Okay. So when you went to the prison, did you have a troop of military officers with you?
They were already at the prison.
So you arrived when they were already at the prison?
They were already at the prison.
Will I be right in saying that there were other military officers who arrived later on during the night?
Yes.
So not all of them were there. So
Not all of them were there.
Yeah. And when you were asked to go to the Montagne Posée prison, what were you told regarding what was the incident that was happening at the Montagne Posée prison?
I was told that there was an incident where prison guards was taken hostage, but then the prison guard was released at some point, and that the prisoners had started to riot because there was someone, I think Mordon, that was kept away from the mail block. So the prisoners was agitating and rioting about that.
Okay. So you were told that some prison guards were taken hostage, and they were released?
Yes.
Yeah. And were you told that after the prison guards were released, the situation at the prison had quelled down?
No, I was not told, but when I reached there about 7 p.m., that was not what I saw.
Okay. So nobody informed you that was the situation?
No.
Okay. And as an officer of the military, if you have a situation whereby some people are taken hostages and then released, okay, and you had gone there for an operation to have them released, would you say that the operation, once you reach there, if they are released, that operation is now redundant?
But the soldiers were not deployed there to cater for whatever hostage rescue issues. They were sent because the assistant of the military was asked by the police and the prison commissioner of police, because there were some disturbance and riots.
So you had a talk with Mr. Barbie, who was commissioner, because you said by the commissioner of police.
No,
that was yours.
I didn't speak to him.
You just said that right now.
No, I said the soldiers were deployed there by the Chief of Defense Forces.
Okay.
Earlier, I heard about it. I went there after. So they were deployed there because...
Sorry, maybe you might want to... It's okay to say, I take that back, because you said they were requested by the police.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the prison.
And the prison, yes.
Yeah, so you but now you are making it sound like you never mentioned the police.
Yeah, but it was told to the Chief of the Defense Forces, not to me. They don't communicate to me. I was a land force commander. I was not the Chief of Staff. I was not the commander, Chief of Defense Forces.
Okay. So when you arrived there were already some police officers around.
Yes.
And these were the PSSW and regular police.
Yes. When I reached there, like people were saying, it was calm. I didn't saw any calm situation. When I went to the Montagne Posée prison, it was about 7 p.m. I saw a lot of fire inside the building, a lot of smoke, and I even heard some shotguns being fired. And you could see some police officers going back and forth towards the mail block.
So when you heard gunshots being fired, who did you believe fired the gunshots?
Definitely, I would believe it was the police.
Okay. So did you, when you arrived at the prison, did you have any conversation with the CP?
It was a little bit later on, about 1 or 1.5 hours after, because when I went to the prison, I met with the soldiers first, asked them about how they are, and at this point, there was already one soldier that had fired one warning shot when one prisoner was being released, and I told him that he was not supposed to do that, so I instructed them not to go where the incident was happening, to remain at the administrative block. But then it was about 1.5 hours later, because we stand there and observe whatever was happening. 1.5 hours later, that I was called to attend a briefing with that where the CP, the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mr. Songwa, then the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Weeds, Mr. Denous, and there was, I think, Mr. Posée. So I went there to hear
Okay.
whatever was happening at the prison.
Okay, so you went to that meeting. What was discussed at that meeting?
I think the CP brief was what started, because I was not there earlier. So he briefed what started the whatever happened because of Mr. Modo, and that they are trying to.
What do you mean because of Mr. Modo?
Because they put Mr. Modo somewhere, and the inmates was not happy about it.
Okay.
So that's when they start taking hostages, and afterwards burning mattresses and throwing bricks to the police that was coming towards them.
That was all that was discussed at that meeting?
Yes, they just brief on what is happening at that moment.
Okay.
And the police was not yet able to gain control of the mail blocks.
Okay. So after that briefing that you had, which must have been very short briefing.
It was a short brief.
Yeah. What did you plan to do?
Well, I went down again at the administrative block. I stand there because Major Macho was supposed to come to meet with me at the prison. And so I assessed the situation. I saw that there was a lot of inmates in a small area, hundreds of them, standing in a small area. There was only green barb field. I mean, the fence was green barbed wire, and there was a lot of commotion. The police was trying to gain control of the prison, so I waited until Major Mache came. So that's when I told him that we have to at least because there was about 9% there, and some was coming to make it about 17%. So I said we need to have a little bit more people here, because in my mind was that there could be prisoners try to escape. So in my idea was to have enough people to cordon the place in the case that they try to escape.
Okay. So wasn't it the case that some of the military had already gone in with
No.
the... One minute, don't do that. Some of the military, I mean that's what we have, had already gone in with the police officers to try and gain access into the prison.
No.
Okay, but at some point you did deploy some military.
That was very later. It was the very last trial that they did to get control of the prison. That was about 11:30 or 11:45 in the night.
So anybody who says contrary to what you are telling us right now would be lying.
Yes. Because I was there at 7 p.m. and myself, I ensured that no soldiers went there inside.
Which soldiers were you?
Because there were already some soldiers when I went there from the headquarters, and they were the soldiers we had some soldiers deployed with the police.
Thank you.
Because in December's, normally every December's the police, let's say, do a lot more patrols, So they asked assistance
Okay.
from the army.
No. So when you say late, the soldiers went in later. What time?
When they went in later,
Yeah,
that was after 11:30 p.m. Sometimes like that.
after 11:30
Yeah,
p.m.
yeah, yeah. Very late at night.
Okay.
That was the only
Yeah,
time
sure,
that I
sure,
know
sure.
soldiers went.
Okay. Colonel,
Yes,
what I want to ask you,
yes,
yeah? I know you are a very well-trained army officer.
yeah.
Okay. And you just mentioned that you had an intuition of securing
The perimeter.
the premises in order to prevent escapes.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I would suppose that your position at this moment at the prison would have had a lot of power to explain or to say what you wanted to say. And I suppose everybody would have been happy to listen to you, because you are a very well-trained army officer. And if your intuition was to do this, why did they not allow for this to happen?
Because it was not something that I told them. I just, as an officer, you go on the scene, you appreciate the situation, and you anticipate what can happen, what can be a problem to you later on. Then you prepare for that.
So you didn't contribute to
No,
to the CP and to the
No,
police
I was
officer?
not. I was not in because they were in command of this operation, and I didn't want to disturb them. Being a
No, but the fact that you knew how the operations should go, don't you think you were obligated at that point to tell them? So if we have an operation, that's the way I believe that we should carry it out.
No, but they were conducting the operation, and they did not ask for my opinion. at
No,
that
no,
time.
no.
And,
Colonel, you were the most senior military officer there.
Yes.
Okay. And you want us to believe that you just decided to remain quiet and not tell them what the operation should, which form the operation should take?
No, I didn't tell them which form it should take because I expect them to be expert in this specific type of operation.
Okay. So you expected them to be expert.
Yes.
Am I right to say that the military is not expert
No.
in dealing with riots?
No.
Okay. And they have no training at all to deal with
No.
riots?
I just get a brief explanation of what is a riot and how it's developed, and they don't do riots, counter-riots training.
Okay. You have anything else? You have something else?
No, you
Okay.
like.
Okay. So, at some point you decided, okay, first you saw some prisoners that were kept in one area, okay? And they were handcuffed,
Some of them, some, not all.
okay? And then you decided that there was a need to penetrate the mill block because you said that the police were having difficulties.
Yes. The police was going back and forth in the prison trying to gain control for about 4.5 or 5 hours. And we were just there standing and looking at whatever was happening because we were not called to participate in that. But then there was another meeting that I was called. Then they requested that they get a small group of military officers to go with them inside the prison.
You say you were not called to participate in that. You mean you were not called to participate and help as to, let's say,
Entering the prison.
entering the prison?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were only called because there were some guards who were kept hostage.
We were called to give them assistance, but when you are called to give them assistance, they will ask us assistance when they need. We don't just come and meddle in everything they are doing. We just came to the prison and stand on standby. Until they called me. They said the police is not, because they were getting tired. There were very few. and they wanted to have at least 6 people to accompany them inside, to assist them when they go inside.
Okay. So at some point they did penetrate the prison.
Yes.
Okay. And when they penetrated, where were you at that point?
I was standing at the mail block viewing where they were going.
Okay.
So what time?
After 11 p.m. It was a little bit late at night.
Okay. And you never went inside?
I never went inside.
At some point in time, you noticed that some people were getting out injured.
Yes.
So at that point, when you find that a lot of the inmates were getting out injured, what command did you give to your military officers who were...
The injured inmates came out after it was reported on the radio that the police... Because it was
my question was not that,
yes.
Colonel. Okay? I asked you what command... When you noticed that this was happening, what command did you give to your officers who were inside?
I was going towards that.
No, but you have to answer that question first before you bring me on to something else.
Because the question...
No, the question is straightforward.
Yeah.
Answer that question.
Because when the inmates was coming out, the police has already taken care of all the prison.
Sorry,
and the soldiers was coming out.
Remember, we agreed that one of the rules is you answer the questions as they are asked, right?
Yes.
I think the question that needs to be answered is, given the background you have outlined, that you were called into a meeting, and then you were requested to provide some troops that would accompany the police to enter into the prison. Right? So his question is,
what commands
which means at that point you are deploying your troops to enter into the prison. He's saying at that point, what instructions did you give them?
I didn't give any instruction because I was not in command of that group of people.
What instructions were they given? Because you were there.
Normally, if soldiers are assisting the police, they are going in the police inside the prison.
What instructions were they given?
The team leader in charge of going inside the prison will brief the soldiers what they want them to do.
You were not there.
I am not there.
But
I am far away from that
but you say
incident.
You went into a meeting.
Yes.
Where you were requested that we need your troops to enter into to accompany the police into the... Surely whoever gave you that request should have explained what assistance the troops should give.
Yeah, there's a lot of assistance that the troop can give.
That's what he's asking.
What assistance? Yeah, he's asking you what assistance.
Because they are going inside a prison, like I've said, they have less experience of what is a riot and all that. But then they can assist the police when let's say they breach the one blocks. They get prisoners. They can guard the prisoners in one place. That's the job they can do.
I think let's answer that question clearly. When you are deploying your troops, you give them specific instructions on what this operation is about.
Yeah, that's when I'm deploying.
Yes, but but we have already agreed that you were there as the one in charge of these troops. That's why they called you in, and they requested that you help them with troops. To do what? They must have explained that we are asking you to deploy troops to help us with the following.
To breach in a building, there's only one tactics. You have to walk straight up until you reach the end of the building. And so to assist them to get up there, you breach all the obstacles that you see on your way to be able to reach your objective.
So to break into prison?
Because riot in a prison is something not normal. It is in a place that is very confined and it's not the normal tactics of military. It's just like walking in a house. It's not military tactics like you are approaching.
Yeah, please. Yeah, go ahead.
But Colonel, the one thing that still puzzles me, you say that the military is not trained.
Yes.
To do such operations inside the prison.
Yes.
We agree with this.
I agree.
Yeah. Now, why did you allow your troops to go into such an operation when they don't know anything about it, they are not trained, why was it allowed that the military went inside there?
It was allowed because normally in the military the orders come from high up, not from my level.
Okay, now when you say it came from high up,
Yeah.
do you know from where it came from, this order to enter the prison?
The order was not to enter the prison. The order was to assist the police in anything they will ask us.
But
We will.
what he is asking, this is how we then mix up things. What he's asking is, your version is, the military is not competent
Yes.
to handle riots. Your version. Then he says, okay, you as the one who was commanding the forces on the spot, right? You know this. So why did you then deploy your troops to get inside prison, where they were now going to be dealing with the riot? Your version.
Yes.
You say, no, we received orders from higher up. And
Yeah.
he is saying, from who?
Not to enter the prison. That was a situation on the scene where
that-
the police
so-
asked
so
for
you
our
Somebody
assistance.
gave you
assistance.
instructions. Just name the person who gave you instructions.
On the scene, there was CP George and Deputy Commissioner Songwa. He asked us to give assistance to the police to reach in the prison.
So, but did you, at this moment, did you tell him, look, CP and Mr. Smogo, my people are not trained to carry out such operation? You could have told them this,
I told them things. Yeah.
but then what did they say?
I told them that one, we will not put a lot of soldiers inside. We'll put a few, very few, to go with them, and that the officers responsible for going inside the prison have to brief the soldiers
Can we have a break after that?
what they want them to do. That's what I told them.
How many soldiers? You said a few. How many?
There was about 6 or 7 soldiers that went in at a time with the
Also, they
At
were
a time.
changing.
So
At a
they were.
They were, I think they went in twice. The first time they were not able to go up, then another time they were able to go.
Yeah, now,
And that was in a very short time.
okay.
About
Now,
20
you and
minutes.
me, we know very well that in any operation, the army, the troops, must be given a disposition of what is to happen and what they had to follow
Yes,
in this thing. So that we call it as a briefing.
yes,
And dispositions would normally change with time.
yes.
As we go in, there would be changes and whatever it is. Now, our soldiers would be carrying weapons,
Yes.
okay? Now, who was the higher rank that on the soldier's part that was inside there to talk the soldiers through what was going on? Because obviously, when dispositions are given, there is a general disposition. Then as you go inside, things may not be the same that we spoke outside. Yeah? So who was the person responsible to ensure that, all the changes that was going on, orders were different now, orders were being passed differently?
Yeah, but no officers went inside. It was only soldiers
Yeah, the soldiers went in,
yeah.
and they were under the control of the police.
of the police.
So would you tell me that the police would be guiding the soldiers in such circumstances?
Yes, yes.
Is that normal?
Yes, it is normal.
I think let me kick in, because we also want to take a 5-minute break. I think the question really is, there must be a commander.
No, there was no commander. There was
So
just
you
soldiers.
deployed your troops to who?
I
Under
deployed
the
my troops to the police team that was going in.
No, Colonel, are you saying to us, when you deploy troops, you don't take note of the person who is going to command your troops? You just release your troops?
No, because when you assist the police, like I've said earlier, The troops are commanded by the police.
Who in the police at that point was commanding your troops inside?
There was one officer. I know him. I don't know his rank. Mr. Dakambra. He was one of the leaders that was going in, and there were some other leaders from the other security forces that was
Mr.
there.
Dakambra,
but Mr. Dakambra was one of the officers that was there.
Yeah, because let's just be very clear here. Then we take a break. Because I don't want us to lose this point
Yeah, go ahead.
when we get to a break. Are we correct that when you, as the commander of a unit of troops, release your troops into the hands of someone, you have to be very clear who, on the identity of the person who is going to manage your troops and oversee them.
Yes. Yeah.
It's protocol,
Yes.
right? Why? Because you are still accountable,
Yes.
right? So in this case, I think your answer must be very clear that I handed my troops to this person and this person.
Yes.
So you cannot say, so you have identified Mr. Dakambra.
While they went in, Mr. Dakambra was the one, the leader.
He was the commander.
He was the leader of the.
Is there another person who was commanding?
I know there was officers going inside.
But there can't be more than one commander.
Yes, but he was the commander. There was other officers going inside with the other troops.
There can
but
be
he
other
was,
people assisting.
Yes, but
There can only be one commander.
Yeah, but he was the commander.
So is your evidence that Mr. Dakambra was the commander of the troops that went inside the prison?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's take a, thank you for that. Let's take a 5-minute break, and then we resume after. Maybe let's just say 5 minutes or
5
6
minutes,
5
5
minutes. 5 minutes.